Well, first of all, my tongue is on fire.
I know you are a fan of spicy food. How confident are you going into this?
Well, Jackie, I will say that I am competitive and maybe to a point of stupidity. So let's go. Let's do what we need to do. And I am very, very determined to make it through. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. All right. Nice.
Carol, during your Senate confirmation hearing on November 30th, 2022, Chris Van Hollen introduced your nomination, saying he thought your nomination was the selection of someone with vast experience, impeccable character, sharp intellect, and wisdom. You were the Peace Corps CEO at the beginning of the pandemic through today. What wisdom have you gained from this journey?
Wow. I think the most important lesson I've learned is that I am surrounded by really smart, very committed people who know a lot about their subject area of expertise. And when you surround yourself with great people, you ask for help and you get guidance. And that has really enabled me to make smarter decisions that I might have made on my own.
Awesome. All right. Question 1 down. That was delicious, actually.
It was very good. This one's a little smokier.
Oh, I like that. What's a book that's really been meaningful to you, and why?
Well, something in the Peace Corps context that was really meaningful to me is a book that I put together with volunteers in my business cohort. Mm-hmm. So this was in Romania. Imagine the scene. It's 1994, just 4 years after the fall of communism. And I was a small business development consultant. And you're literally moving from a communist economy into a capitalist economy. And we had entrepreneurs coming in and people who just had not grown up in that environment. And I was struck by some of the basics, things that we know because we've grown up in that system. So what we did is we gathered all of the business expertise from our cohort and we wrote a guide for small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. And we had it translated into Romanian, and it was published, and it was published after we left. And it was one of those things where you just don't know whatever became of something you put a lot of work into. And I was contacted by the head of the business consulting center probably like 3 years ago. And he said that it was actually published into a second edition and that it had been utilized throughout Romania, and he sent me a copy. And it just meant so much to me years later. So I'll try to do the title justice. My Romanian isn't so great anymore, but for those of you in Moldova, please give me a little grace. It's called Aproape Totul despre managementul întreprinderilor mici și mijlocii.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Very garlicky.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good too.
They're all very, very different. Yeah, that's fun.
Carol, how do you go from being an accounting major to a completely different world of international development?
I have had so much fun with this question when I talk to potential applicants to the Peace Corps and when I talk about how life just doesn't happen in a straight line. The short answer to your question is I have no idea. The long answer is, I was working very, very hard during my career in public accounting, and I can work really hard. And I really wanted to work for something that was mission driven and that I really believed in. So took that leap of faith, joined the Peace Corps, and have never looked back, but have always used that skill in accounting. So again, when I talk to students, I say, I know you might not want to, but take that accounting class, because when you know how the finances work, you know where the money is, you know how you can move forward in an organization. So it's served me well over the years and provided that strong basis in different management functions, but it certainly has not been a straight line.
That's great.
It's a matter of saying yes as different kinds of opportunities arise.
Just say yes.
Just say yes.
Love it.
Maybe we're not putting enough sauce on. Maybe we need to get a good old scoop in there for these next ones. I understand the next 5 are
You watch out now.
Are much more difficult.
For the 4th question, during your field experience, whether as a volunteer or a country director, can you share an example of a lesson of culture where you just needed to learn through lived experience?
So the one that comes to mind most readily was in Malawi, and you think about the lessons you learn over the short term, right? And then you think about those ones that just take a long time. And when it finally hits you, you're just like, how did I not pick up on this earlier? And the issue was around the word should or shouldn't versus can't. And I had so many situations where my volunteers would do something and they said, well, I was never told that I can't do that. And I would talk to the staff and they would say, we've told them again and again and again that they can't do that. And it took me almost 3 years to figure out that when a Malawian, and shout out to Team Malawi, when a Malawian says shouldn't, they mean can't. But in a cultural context, it's not appropriate for them to tell particularly a foreigner or a visitor that they can't do something. But when an American hears shouldn't, it's like, use your best judgment. You can do it or not do it. It's kind of up to you, but I wouldn't recommend it. Right. And just had to live through that again and again and again. And learn how to ask the right questions to pick up on what was actually happening. And then once I figured it out, and we had discussions with the staff, we had discussions with the volunteers, and it just opened up this whole new world for me in terms of understanding what was really happening.
Well, I think that just from that lived experience, I can't believe it took almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years.
That was a full circle moment of finally understanding,
yes.
And then volunteers really taking that next step and getting that cultural understanding, and hopefully no other issues after that point for those
None.
volunteers. And I have to say, Carol, we haven't even had a sip of water.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, great.
I'm going to get a good dip on this one. Make sure we're getting a good taste.
The queso comes through. It's definitely cheesy.
This is where we're starting to feel the afterburn. The afterburn is coming.
There it is. Yep, it's burning right now. Team, it's burning right now. It's light. I haven't touched the water yet. Let's bring this on. All right.
Okay.
Carol, 2-part question.
Yes.
You are one of 7 siblings.
Yes.
1, where are you in the birth order?
Number 3, but I am the oldest girl,
Okay.
which matters somehow.
Now, the follow-up question.
Yes.
What's easier, being a family of 7 kids or negotiation with Congress for the agency's budget?
I will say that growing up with 7 siblings prepared me well for negotiating in Congress, where you have a lot of different opinions, a lot of different ideas about how things can be done. And when you're in a family of 7 with 4 brothers, especially, you got to learn how to hold your own. And you've got to have a pretty thick skin and a strong backbone. And I will say that we joke in my family that sarcasm is our love language. So you've also got to be able to take a joke and some ribbing along the way. So I think it did prepare me well. I would say that negotiating with Congress is easier.
There you go, folks. Negotiating in Congress, definitely easier than a family of 7. Got it.
Okay, my nose is starting to get a little runny. My mouth is feeling the heat.
All right. Maple bourbon, the Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
It's thinner. It's not as thick as some of the others, but there's the burn. There's the burn team. Okay. Later this week, you are meeting with the president of Gambia, who's taught by a Peace Corps volunteer. In August, you headed to the Tonga, where the Prime Minister helped swear in volunteers.
Yes, I'm feeling it too.
In 2022, you went to promote Global Vax. It was actually a great trip we went on together in Eswatini, where the health minister met you. His first meeting being out for 3 months, and literally because he had COVID. But he really insisted, and he wanted to personally share that he's in his leadership position today because of Peace Corps, because of a Peace Corps volunteer teaching him science and math. What does this say to you about Peace Corps' impact?
I hear this so many times from really senior, officials and from chiefs and from, just teachers, just all over the place. And I was at an event yesterday talking at the Center for Strategic, sorry, I can't talk now that my tongue is burning, Strategic International Studies, yes. And talked also about how we were invited back after COVID from all of these countries who could have said no. I mean, we were welcome back. And what does that mean for America? What does it mean for America to have people in countries around the world who share deep friendships with Americans? It's such a beautiful thing. And, it is so hard to bottle. I'll use the pun here with all of the things. It's really hard to bottle and capture what that means and what that impact is. But I think anyone who's been in and around Peace Corps understands that is the magic. That's the beauty of Peace Corps. So we just have to continue to try to figure out how to bring it to life for people who haven't had the beauty of seeing it on the ground or talking to someone who was impacted in that way. And so I'm going to go on a little bit on this one because I get very passionate about it. Think about those people who mentored or impacted you wherever you are and call them this holiday season and tell them what their impact was on your life and how whatever words of encouragement they gave you at the right time or, told you were capable of at a moment when you really needed it. Call them and tell them thank you. It's just such a beautiful thing. Or go out and tell someone a family member or someone you're with over this holiday season that they would make a great volunteer for the same reason. Yeah. Tell them that for the same reason, because sometimes it's just someone telling you they think you're capable of doing it for you to get up and take that chance. That's just straight pepper.
That's straight pepper. I'm afraid because I haven't felt the burn, and it's slowly building. Mm-hmm. The other one was a very slow and immense burn, Now it's just a consistent heat.
Yep.
Seventh question. At the Women in Peace Corps event that just happened here at headquarters, it was a wonderful event.
It was wonderful.
You mentioned that fear on a macro level is one reason that candidates are not taking the jump and applying to Peace Corps. This generation prefers potentially comfort and are risk averse. What does this tell you? And how can Peace Corps adjust our message?
Well, first of all, my tongue is on fire right now. So I'll slightly modify, the takeaway from that was a hypothesis. And it was a hypothesis not about this next generation, but really about all of us as we're coming out of COVID-19 and coming out of this period where there was a lot of trauma, a lot of uncertainty, and fear is a natural consequence from all of that. So it was really, how do we move out of this fear response or this heightened anxiety about what might come down the pike that we're not prepared for, or that might hit us out of left field. And I will say that every leap I've ever taken, in my career or my personal life, there was a lot of fear of failure, fear of, being called out, fear of what's it called, the imposter syndrome, all of it, right? Is very, very real. So some of it is messaging, right? And I think we did a wonderful job with the Bold Invitation campaign, award-winning campaign. Congratulations to our marketing team, did an amazing job. Really appealing to people's sense of wanting to be part of something bigger than themselves and inviting them to be bold. And so I'm not sure that the larger agency message needs to change. I think rather what we can do as individuals and as an agency to some degree is to really emphasize, we've got your back. Like, you can do this. This will transform your life. And taking that risk is part of wellness. It's a part of growing as an individual, right? Risk does not need to come with, a discomfort that is harmful, right? There is discomfort that can be very powerful as we look at, how we grow as human beings. And that does involve, as I always say, moving outside your comfort zone.
I'm not going to lie, my tongue is on fire, and I just feel like the cat on your overalls is judging me so much. She's like staring me down like, yep, that's right. That's
what he's here for.
Oh my gosh. All right, number 8.
It's called The Bomb.
It's truly called The Bomb.
You're scared, huh? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's legit. Starting to sweat a little bit.
I'm not touch your eyes. I almost did. And I was like, no, I'm not good. Okay, the bomb. Ooh. It tastes good.
It does taste good.
It's good flavor. But it's the roof of my mouth and tongue not down my throat.
I'm just sweating.
Yep. Okay. Carol, as your time as director comes to a close, what are 3 things you are most proud of during your tenure?
Well, the first one is so easy. Like, we brought the Peace Corps back after COVID as an amazing global team. And I feel like I just want to leave it there. But we not only brought it back, we are also innovating in so many different ways. And Peace Corps always innovated, right? We've innovated in many, with many programs and projects, but to innovate with our structure and to really question some things or open ourselves up to some things that have been really a core part of who we are for so long requires a leap of faith, right? It requires overcoming some of that fear. So I'm very excited about where that will lead us whether it is, some of the pilots around how we structure the length of volunteer service, the virtual service, how we might move forward in hybrid ways, the side-by-side service opportunities. Like, it's just a really exciting time for Peace Corps, and it's a lot of fun. And I think that I'll just move that to my third one. Like, we've had fun along the way. We really have, although it's been incredibly challenging. I'm very proud of the team. There have been some joyful moments and some great friendships and relationships that we built along the way.
The water's so stupidly hot.
Mm-hmm. There's no real graceful way to do this, is there?
Mm-mm. And I'm here for you. Now come Scare Team, because there's no burn yet. Oh, there it is. There it is.
I feel like maybe I didn't get it.
Okay.
Get it quite right.
Showing off, team. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Do you feel it? No? Oh, this is...
No, I'm numb to this one.
Champ. Okay, ninth question. Carol, you talked to stakeholders about strengthening operations for the agency. There are so many. Share with us one that you're really, truly proud of and that will have lasting impact.
Okay, I lied. It just hit.
There it is.
It hit at the back of my throat, which is not a place you want. This is coconut.
Yes.
Coconut milk whipped cream.
Coconut whipped cream. Is that helping? Because this is not.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. It's okay. That it helps momentarily, but then it comes back. I feel like it just sticks with you
with a vengeance
in the back of my throat. Boy, strengthening operations, I could nerd out on all day, and maybe that's the accountant in me. I get really excited about both the IT systems, with a shout out to all of the teams who've been implementing Sims and the new Vita and all of those systems that give us an agency-wide look at how we're doing, to standardization, which when I first started, and again, as an accountant, really appreciate it, was kind of a forbidden word. And now I think we're in a place where people see how it can really help us, be more efficient so that we can spend our time being really creative on the programming side. And I could just go one by one down the list, because I think every team has done some amazing work. And again, having come from a finance background, I say to the finance and IT and back office teams all over the place, thank you for what you do. It is often a task that is not appreciated until something goes wrong. So you get the negative attention, but not the positive. So go tell your back office teams thank you today as well. A lot of great stuff.
Well, this has been fun.
Really fun. Really fun.
Cheers. I'm very impressed.
I never knew the skill set would come in handy.
Light dab.
It must hit you sooner. Mine doesn't hit until like a little bit afterwards. But this one I can feel on my lips.
It's angry.
My lips are feeling a little numb.
It is. This has no flavor. No flavor, and literally
just heat.
Burn sensation heat. Carol, the 10th question.
Yes.
After being here for 4 years doing this job that you love, what's one piece of advice you would share? It's almost unfair for me to say one piece. One piece of advice you would share to the incoming director nominee.
Sorry, I need more. I need more sorbet. It's really hot.
That is.
And I don't know if you see the sweat.
Yes,
coming.
I do.
Oh, okay. One piece of advice. This advice was given to me, and I had to remind myself at many different junctures. But enjoy every minute of it. Enjoy it. Like it's hard for me to say this with my mouth burning as much as it is. Have fun with it. It honestly is the best job I've ever had. I think it's the best job in federal government. It's the best agency. And there's so much love everywhere I've gone. There is just love for the Peace Corps that is second to none. And just soak it all in. And, let that feed you and energize you. It's not easy. Some of the decisions you have to make are very, very hard. But sort of knowing, those moments of joy and enjoying it makes it all worth it, including this moment that I am now wondering why I decided to do, because my mouth is on fire.
Because you are CFC chair, you are a champion. Carol, you survived all 10 of the sauces in the hot seat.
Whew. As did you.
Congratulations. Unreal. Can I take your whipped cream?
Yes.
I am, yep, this is. The coconut whipped cream is a winner. Now, Carol, finale. This camera. Please let the people know, let Peace Corps know what is going on in your life today and why are we doing this?
Well, why are we doing this? It is important, right? It is important to give not only of our time and energy at work and service, but to also give of our broader resources to the CFC campaign. We're doing it today because I am meeting with former directors Carrie Hessler-Radelet and Jody Olson tonight. So in the spirit of camaraderie and support, Jody was the government-wide CFC chair when she was a director here at the Peace Corps. So I'm not sure that I will actually be able to eat any dinner with them tonight as was planned. My mouth might still be on fire. But I know that they send their love to all of you. Once you're part of Peace Corps, it is always a part of you for the rest of your lives. So very, very honored to be here. Thank you to the whole CFC team, to you, Jackie, Cindy, Mike, Paul, others who are part of this. Just tremendous gratitude.
I love it. I mean, literally every day as federal
employees. I can't feel my lips.
We make positive differences in our country, in cities and communities around the world. It's public service. It's public service that we love in doing. And so we have this opportunity to expand in supporting the CFC campaign. So thank you so much for watching on this Giving Tuesday. Thank you for everything that you do day in and day out. And I hope you had fun watching us kill our taste buds. Cheers.
Yeah, I'm going to go rub ice on my lips and then maybe get some chapstick.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.